Well,
What have we got there?
happy morning to you.
Oh, the
Top
Australian.
of the morning.
Yep.
Tech Titans face crackdown. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Is it about time?
I think you said it's about 10 years too late, but, you know.
Look, so the interesting thing here is the Australian government, and this would be December 10 to 2018, Monday, and they're looking at setting up a new regulator to review advertising, which looks suspiciously like the algorithm review board that the media giants were hoping for.
Yeah.
But I'm personally absolutely excited by this one.
Yeah.
You've got a different view.
No, perhaps a slightly more sceptical view, but no, I agree with you, actually. I think this is totally warranted. I don't know about the practicalities and implementation and so forth, but what do you think?
So the guts of why I like this, 80 cents of every dollar in Australia goes to Facebook or Google, and
This is advertising dollars.
Digital advertising dollars. Print has collapsed over the same period,
Yep.
spookily about the exact same amount of dollars.
Right.
So our print industry has been decimated. It's a quarter of what it was, and digital advertising has risen. The interesting thing is there is non-fraud inside this system and absolutely no willingness to look at bots clicking on ads. So basically we've got a layer of fraud applied to all our businesses inside Australia because they will not be clear about, and this is it, verified ads. So did a person see this ad? So we're actually talking about an identity system, and we're talking about verified humans. Did indeed a human see the ad? And amazingly, Google and Facebook are not interested in playing this game.
What's the estimate of the number of bots running around in these social networks?
15% of the clicks are fraudulent because they're bots clicking on ads.
Yeah, so you've got bots impersonating humans.
Yes.
Now, I would assume that they're targeting particular ads where the revenue from those ads is in the interests of whoever's running that bot farm, I assume. Is that the game?
It's part of the game.
Yeah, what else is it?
Well, I'm just going to flip over the page here. So they actually have put together, the algorithms are not going to be, the tricky part is, what are the algorithms doing? What media are they serving to us? How did they choose to profile us, and what are we being shown? Was it actually something that we were interested in seeing? Was it even relevant to us?
Well, I can answer that straight away with a fairly highly qualified no most of the time, because what we all experienced is searching for a particular product, choosing one, buying it online, and then being served ads for that product we've already bought for the next 12 months.
Yes.
Who hasn't had that experience?
Yeah. Now, so you understand that it's not just about the bots.
No, that's right. Yes.
Stupid reserving of ads over and over again that you've
and somebody's paying for that completely useless ad.
Yes.
That I am reserved because I've already satisfied that need.
Yeah. So you can't say click on it and say I've already bought this, and that didn't cost the advertiser for that click.
Yeah.
Then they know that you were the person that purchased.
Yes.
Down a different channel, maybe.
Yeah. And I don't necessarily want them to know that either.
So here are the numbers. It outlined that the spending on digital advertising had increased, this is the report, from less than $1 billion in 2005 in Australia to $8 billion in 2017. Over the same period, spending on print advertising had fallen from $5.7 billion to $1.9 billion. So it is an enormous amount. So its total of advertising is 12%. Now, what does this actually mean? That this is an incredible, in some senses, a crime that is unprosecuted.
Yeah, well, the proposition made to advertisers is not what is delivered.
So the idea would be, can Google and Facebook deliver verified ads. So we're talking about verification. This is where the blockchain comes in. So it would be auditability, scrutiny from third-party actors.
Somebody able to actually gather some evidence if they were going to challenge an invoice.
And yes, and the right of recourse if you think that you've been defrauded around your company's spend. That would seem like basic ACCC consumer protections for business.
It would do, yes.
And it's going to be very interesting to watch this play out. So this is a different part of the game.
Yes.
And this is actually business being done over by the data lords of America.
Yes, yes.
So I, for one, am extremely interested in where this is all going to go through. So I guess I'm going to keep my finger on this pulse because I think that this new agency will have a lot to say about Australian entrepreneurs in the digital space long term and about giving them a fair playing field to actually compete with the products that Google has bundled together. So YouTube and, obviously the Android App Store, etc., Gmail, the search engine itself, and so on and so on and so on. On the Facebook side, they've got Instagram, WhatsApp, and Facebook, amongst other major platforms. So they have bundled a lot of their services together. How do we actually have an opportunity to put, say, micropayments inside there or digital affiliate systems for ad serving that are Australian-born and Australian delivered? So it's a very competitive landscape, and there's anti-competitive behaviour there and market power because they own 80% of the market.
Well, it's a duopoly, isn't it, with Google and Facebook in that sense?
It's an incredible situation. And we think that looks like micropayments, digital identity, or have a blockchain component in it, and exchange traded data, but we can get into that another time. So there is a new possibility of a data market, and I think this new regulator has an opportunity to move ahead for the very first time, because in 5 or 10 years, what we're talking about and what we're interested in building is going to be a massive reality. So there will be other Googles and other Facebooks emerging globally.
Yes.
And we want to work with the regulator. And 5G is going to be the acceleration point of this because it's coming in 2020, 2021, somewhere around then. A lot of the phones are now 5G. And there'll be literally 100 times more data flowing to our phone by 2023. That's some of the projections. And that's going to happen. So there will be a radical acceleration of data. And that's basically what the regulator needs to get their heads around, because you don't want to hand that to the American monopolists right now.
Well said. Agreed.
Right.
Thanks, Grant.